Today we're talking about our PM039 heavy-duty airless sprayer. And this is the largest sprayer in our line. It's got an extremely powerful brushless motor. It's 1800 watts, which is 2.4 horsepower, running the reciprocating mechanism and then the piston-type pump. And notable feature about this is our heavy-duty suction head. And this is especially made for very viscous materials like drywall, mud, and plaster and so forth. The ball is actually right on the bottom, and it's got a spring and a ceramic ball, very long wear, and there's an intake strainer. The inlet strainer is a number 20 inlet strainer. It's got a very heavy-duty frame, and you can see it's got these hooks for hooking to our optional plaster tank. And it's got inflatable tires and a really nice toolbox on top, which you can put your different kinds of tips and filters or whatever you need for your spraying job. And there's also this nice rack for putting your hose and your cable as well. And it's retractable. If it's in your way, you can retract it. And the machine comes fairly complete for spraying. We provide you with a 3/8 hose with a 1/4-inch whip hose on the end. We've got 2 pump filters at 100 and a 60 mesh, a contractor type gun with a filter, the chip guard, as well as we give you a 539 tip and a C, and throat seal oil, and this special wrench, the spline wrench, this is for your pump filter, and also we give a tummy bar, that's for adjusting your packing nut. It's got a very sophisticated yet simple to use electronic pressure control system. Alright, and you can see it's a very easy to use electronic control. You've just got some simple controls. You've got your on-off. You can choose between the display of PSI or bar for your pressure. And this is your pressure control, which can go down to 0 all the way up to your maximum pressure. And that's how you set your pressure. And it will also give you displays of any error. If there's some kind of problem with the machine, it will just show on your display. For daily maintenance of your pump, we have an access door here. Alright, so whenever you're working on your pump, like every morning, you put in your throat seal oil. You just put in a few drops through that hole, and that will keep your paint from sticking to your packings. And also sometimes you'll need to adjust your packing nut. If you're getting some paint leaking out of the top of the pump, you can just use this Tommy bar and you can tighten the packing nut. And then when you're done, you just close it down. And this is the priming valve, and this is a ball type valve, which is very heavy duty. This is your drain hose. And this goes this way to open, this way to close. And this is our pump filter. And we need this special slide wrench to open it. It just opens like that. To mount your filter, you choose which filter you want. You can either do let's say this one will use the number 60. And you just unscrew the cap and you mount the filter. Kind of pops in place, and then you thread it on. And then for assembly, you just put the hose on the fitting and tighten it. And notice there's a plug here. This plug is if you want to run 2 guns, because for smaller tip sizes, this motor can run 2 guns at the same time. All you need to do is remove that plug and put in another fitting, and then you can put on 2 different hoses. And as soon as you put on your hose, we'll talk about assembling your gun. Okay, the first thing we do is talk about assembling our gun. And you see it's got this hand guard, and it's engaged in this slot here. So all you do is you pop it out and rotate it out of your way, and then you remove this. This takes a 24mm wrench, and you remove it. And this is your gun filter. You see it's got this spring. This spring goes toward the gun body, and then the other side goes into the handle. So you just put it in here with the spring facing out, and then engage it in that hole. And then you tighten the handle. Then your gun is ready to go. You put your hand guard back down and you engage it in these slots here. And there's your hand guard. Now this is the gun safety. You see here, you take it and you rotate it, and that allows you to be able to trigger the gun. And put the safety, snaps into that slot, and then your gun is untriggerable. And now we're going to talk about assembling the tip. Now the tip comes with two parts. You have this part, and you have the main body of the tip. And you have the guard. And you may notice there's a little end on here. That's actually for helping you to assemble this piece. So all you do is you mount it on there like that. And you look at the alignment. You want to have this is where the tip's going to go in, and so you have it lined up so it will line up like that. And you push it in there. And there. And we're in. There, now it's in. And then the tip goes in. And notice, like that. See, the tip isn't really all the way in. It has to make sure you go all the way. There, now you're in. And now you just thread it onto the gun. Yeah, the seal. I hear the seal go in now. And there you are. You put it whatever orientation you want it as. And you notice the tip. This is the forward direction for spraying. And if you need to clean the tip, sometimes you get a little clog in there. What you can do is you can reverse it all the way. And now the tip is essentially backwards. And then you trigger it, and that will clear any clog. And then you can put it back in the forward spraying position. The only position the tip can be in is either fully forward or fully reversed. Never in between, because that will cause a blockage. And that would be bad. Yeah, and then the tip will always have this identification tag on it. All right, and there's your tip. Make sure it's tight and fully engaged, and you're ready to go with the tip. And then, of course, mounting the gun to the hose is very simple, because this is turnable. And so is this. So it just makes it very easy. You just thread on the hose. And then here you're going to need two wrenches. One wrench to hold this knot, and the other wrench to tighten the actual hose on there. One's a 17, one's a 21. Yeah, and now your gun is completely ready to go. And the hose goes on the rack like so, and the gun has a clip that clips on to the rack. It makes for a very neat and complete system. Today we're going to tell you about the optional plaster tank, which works so well with the PM039. And it makes working with plaster very easy. You can load the plaster right into the tank and just directly draw from the tank. And it comes with everything you need to attach with the tank. It comes with a special coupling head, which is an adapter head, which will take the place of your normal inlet suction head. And it comes with a special valve, which has a ball valve incorporated into it. This will couple the tank with the machine. And also we have a special wrench. This is the hook wrench side. It's used for tightening these couplings, and it also plaster. And then the other side is for scraping the rollers. And you can see the top, there's a special wringer, and these rollers need to be cleaned, the plaster will be on them. And it's also a scraper plate with 2 vent bolts, and a table plate which is used to make it easier if starting off your plaster. You can just lay it right on top of the pan there, and then you do your plaster. And now I'll tell you how to connect the machine together with the tank. Now to switch to the adapter, we have to remove our entire suction head. We'll start with the inlet strainer, unscrew it from the bottom to give you clearance. There's the inlet strainer, put it aside, and then you take off, and then you remove the suction head completely. And now we need to transfer the check ball side of the pump into the adapter. We'll just take out the parts, the ball guide and the seal and the spring and the ball, and also the intake disc. That's, in other words, that's the ball seat, and it has to be pushed out. It's only held in with an O-ring, but you probably should maybe just use, I'm using the Tommy bar and a soft hammer, gently tap it out. It's not really that tight. And then you just take it and you transfer it into the adapter head and press it in place. Okay, there, it's in. And now we have our ball and our spring. So you put the spring in the guide and the ball. And you just put it in place, and then the seal. And then you mount it onto the suction side of the machine. And now we just mount the complete assembly with the check ball in place onto the pump. And that will allow us to join with the tank. And now we mount our coupling valve onto the bottom of the tank. Start the threads. And we use the hook wrench and engage this slot to tighten the collar. Now you just remove the plug and you couple the machine. The best way is to leave the tank where it is, and the machine goes onto the tank. The hooks engage. The hooks are engaged. And now we just couple them. Line them up. And then final tighten it with your hook wrench. Now to operate the plaster tank, there's a few extra features that make it really convenient. First off, we have this table plate. And the table plate, you lay on the tank, and then you lay your bag of plaster on the top of the tank. Then you use your hook wrench to open the plaster, and that will get you started as you squeeze out the plaster. And then to get every last bit of plaster out, you use the wringer. And the wringer will allow you to squeeze all the plaster out of the tank. And then if your rollers get all dirty, you can just wipe them down with this tool. And then finally, we have a scraper plate, which allows you to make full use and not waste any plaster. It just goes into the tank after you apply the plaster. Now the scraper plate has these rubber seals on the sides, and it scrapes down the sides of the tank to allow you, so that you don't waste any plaster. And you'll notice it has these 2 screws, and what these are for are used as vents, because once it's down and into the bottom of the tank, there'll be a suction created, a vacuum, and so you can remove these screws to break the vacuum and allow you to remove the plate. PM039 plus the plaster tank make an excellent plaster spraying system.